Hey, apparently my clock battery is going, and I thought, as a matter of fact, right now my clock says it's 10 minutes to 10. I don't know when it started being that late. Heaven only knows. Probably I've been late for work for a couple of days because I simply didn't know. Well, I couldn't let you down though. It's time for our book study tonight, Rise of the False Gods. And tonight we are talking about being a conscious voter. So I have to find it because I didn't get a chance to go over everything. Okay. All right. What a surprise that was, and a happy Friday to everyone. All right, so last night, I believe that we did the consequence of not voting. So tonight we are doing how to make a conscious decision. And unfortunately, I didn't get to do my prep work like I usually do, because I thought it was an entirely different time and I thought I have more time. So we're just going to kind of wing it tonight. But we're winging it on page 243. And it starts off with a quote from Joshua. It says, "Choose this day who you will serve. As for me and my house, I shall serve the Lord." It's not always easy to make a good, solid, conscious decision because it's not always the way we want to do things. For example, a good conscious decision is spending your money with prudence or holding your temper or all the good things that we want to do if we are to follow spiritual principle. But it is necessary if we want to have the life that we desire. Now, we are coming down on voting day, and like they say, for the first time in our lifetimes, we will not know probably at the end of voting day who won. There may be questions, there may be problems. We don't know what's happening. This is the time where our consciousness matters most. Regardless of the outcome, what we have to know is the outcome of this election, as all elections, is going to be, excuse me, the general outcome of the consciousness of the people. Some people will be happy. Some people will be unhappy, but we have to look at it from the perspective of the collective, which is all of us, all who voted, why we voted that way, how we voted, and it's going to set the scene for our next lessons as a people, as a country. And the lessons basically, look, folks, it's real simple. We are told by all the major religions to love one another, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know, it's real clear. And when we make choices that don't honor those things, we're going to get the results that we don't want. Now, if a majority of people are still into, I'm sorry, my hair is such a mess, I can see that, because I was so taken by surprise tonight by my clock being off. Okay, so my mom used to sing this cute little song. It went, "I'm just a little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day." Some of us will find that we are petunias in an onion patch and all we do is cry all day. That's not the way it's intended. Just because you didn't get the outcome you don't want, no, just because you didn't get the outcome that you want, doesn't mean God isn't there, doesn't mean God doesn't care. It means that this is a part of our growth process. It doesn't mean if the outcome is not what you want, you lay down and give up and get into apathy and loss or hate. It means that you stand firm, stand for principle, and keep moving forward, okay? Can we agree to that? Now I want you to put all that stuff away, and we're going to think about being a conscious voter. What does it mean to be a conscious voter? Well, how many times have you been driving down the street and all of a sudden you go, how'd I get here? It's like you blacked out and all of a sudden you're here. Chances are your mind took you on a little journey. You might have been thinking about what you had to do at the grocery store or who you were mad at or what you were excited about, but you went out of full consciousness in that moment. And then all of a sudden, there you are, back at consciousness. Through the grace of God, we are given a system that does help us do automatic. When we've been driving a long time, we can pay attention to the driving and, and our mind might wander a little bit. We don't want distraction. We don't want texting and stuff like that. But from time to time, our mind will wander and then we snap back. Not a safe way to live, but it does happen. The more we can stay conscious at all times, and conscious is being aware. It's being aware of right thoughts. It's being aware of right actions. What has this got to do with being a conscious voter? Here we go. To be a conscious voter, you want to pray first. You want to pray daily, and you want to pray often. Our mind is our connecting link with God, with spirit, with higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. When we turn first to our higher power, we are more likely to make conscious rather than unconscious choice. Pray with positive prayer, not begging or coming from fear, but with an understanding God is in charge. You want to know about an unconscious choice? A country song used to line that up pretty good. I guess I'm in a singing mood tonight. I don't think I'm going to sing it. But there was a song that was very popular, and it said, "The girls all get prettier at closing time." Well, did the girls really get prettier? Or did you get a little less in control of your conscious awareness? A little bit more desperate and looking to ego and what ego wants? Girls didn't get any prettier. And nothing gets prettier when we make unconscious decisions. So we pray and do our best to stay consciously aware, to keep reminding ourselves God is in charge. Next, we educate ourselves. We want to make sure that we are paying attention to news articles, outcomes of debates, and yes, even claims on the internet, provided we fact check everything. Ask yourself this: am I voting with principle or personality? Is what I heard true? Is it what I would like to be true? How does that line up with facts? And when I say facts and stuff, folks, I'm not talking just one source. I'm talking to more than one source and reliable sources. So, is what you are reading fact or opinion? Is it a nasty meme? Is it going to help you make a good decision at the voting booth? Is it going to have you make a decision that you can truly live with? I recommend particular sites that I use for unbiased, very neutral sites for fact checking, and they include factcheck.org, politifact.com, and factchecker.com, as well as Snopes. A lot of people pick on these fact-checking organizations, but if you read them long enough, you get to see that they are not biased. They are equal. They will call out one candidate or situation as well as another. So we always have to consider the source. There's another one. It's called, oh golly, I can't tell you what it is. I'll try to put it in the comments, but I think it's Media Bias Check. And basically it will come up if you just type in, let's say you're looking at an article or a meme or something, and you want to know if that's true or if that is a reliable source. So you just type in, is blank, 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 a reliable source. And Media Bias Fact Check will usually come up, and it will tell you, it lists, is it left, is it right, is it center, is it reliable? Those are the things we want to look for. You are always going to find some bias. Why are you going to find some bias? Because the truth of our being, all that we think, feel, and believe, is biased. I am biased to truth and justice. Very much so. But that to me is I'm aligned with all that is good. Other people would see it, well, that's the way you see it. Well, that's my educated, experienced, and fact-checking basis. So not all sources are good. Not all sources are reliable. You want a good source? You want a reliable source. An election is too important to just, vote. When I was 18, I know the 18-year-olds have the vote, and I pray our 18-year-olds are better today at these things than I was. But if I were old enough to vote when I was 18, I don't know that I was even 18 then, close to it, I'm sure. And I thought that John Kennedy was the greatest thing in the world. Doesn't matter how great a president he was. Why would I have voted for him? Because he was darn good looking. He had a lovely family, and he was Catholic. And at that time, so was I. That's why I would have voted for him. Is that enough? It's not. What's enough is knowing what their position is on matters that are important to us. That's what it means to be a conscious voter. Going by news articles, memes, and stuff like that is really not enough. It takes a little bit more work than that to do your homework to prepare to vote. We don't want to become over-involved to the point that our mind is saturated. Sometimes that just it brings nothing but confusion. What we need to do is to let go of it and to clear our mind and to be free. I heard the other day about a country, and I can't tell you what country it was, I don't remember. But what they did is every time there was an election, for 3 days, there was the 3 days prior to the election, there was to be no, N-O, no news stories, no articles, no leaks, nothing about the candidates or the election. That gave people a really good opportunity to ponder and to make sure their choices are what they really wanted to make. I think that is powerful. We've talked before about what's called a 3-day right of rescission. A 3-day right of rescission is when you're going to spend a lot of money on something and you have 3 days after you sign that paper to change your mind. We don't get that when we vote. Sometimes we go to the voting booth hot. We're mad. We're passionate. We're happy. We're going to push. It's not the right way to vote. The right way to vote is by being grounded and consciously aware of who you are voting for. Which candidates reflect your own values? Is it personality that draws you, or principle? Is it his or her charm, or the intelligence and value of the message, how it resonates with the truth of your being? Are you voting party line because that's what your parents did? Are you voting for a particular candidate because you don't want to make another person angry? Many people vote to prevent family discord. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That's why voting is in secret. That's why you're in that booth by yourself making your choice. And it's none of anybody else's business who you voted for. Know the candidate. Is he or she qualified for the position, equipped, educated, and experienced? Do they know what they're talking about? You know, the word that we call it is they are our representative. Our government is supposed to reflect the people that they govern. So when we vote as a conscious voter, we want that person that we're voting for to be a reflection of ourselves, to be a reflection of our values, to be a reflection of how we conduct ourselves and how we treat others. That's really, really important. If we're putting a representative in a position, if we're putting someone in a seat that represents the United States of America, if that looks like the ultimate American, what does that person look like? I don't think I have to go into it based on this election, who we're voting for, how they carry themselves, how they behave, whether or not their thoughts, feelings, and actions reflect our values. That's who you want to vote for. There is an independent national view to be considered. We are all parts of a greater whole, but we want to express as an entity, oneness in diversity. And then an independent worldview, interdependent worldview, interdependent. So is it independent national view, interdependent worldview? Folks, we are growing and changing. We do have a view as a country. You know, proud, land of the free, home of the brave. We have responsibility. We are a leader in the world stage. Well, we should be, if we think we're that good. But my friends, we are moving to a point of the interdependent worldview. We are dependent on each other for the good of the whole. If any one country does not cooperate with the good of the whole, we will never have the peace, freedom, security, and stability that we all would like. A place to raise our families, a place to live and enjoy enjoy the amazing beauty, a way to express all the good that we have within us? Is this person that we are voting for seeking peace, harmony, prosperity for all people, everywhere, not including just ourselves or just the United States? The goal has to be for all people, everywhere. Is the person that we are going to vote for grounded in ethics, character, values, and conscience? I've said this before, and I will say it again. Best determination of future behavior is past behavior. What has this person done in the past? What does it tell about their values? What does it tell about what means something to them? What does it say about their conscience and the quality of their conscience? And do they reflect all that is in you? Is this person making achievable promises and goals? We've said before that ideally the way our country was created, was put together, was designed, was that we would have a multifaceted government that had checks and balances and oversight over each other, which is very important. So we've lost some of that. If you don't believe that, I'm sorry, go back and read some recent past history. We make our best goals when we find consensus. We may not find that we all agree on something, but we find something that we can agree to. We make, well, I don't like to say make deals because they're not really deals. We make decisions for the good of the whole. And sometimes, if we are not being that equally placed governing body that we are supposed to be, one side or another unfairly drives it. And I'm going to tell you something, folks, that does not work. If you just look at our own being, where we have our thinking nature and our feeling nature, our spiritual nature and our human nature. If any one of those, if we're all just about thinking and not about feeling, we're not going to make good decisions. If we're all about our emotions and not about thinking and seriousness and being grounded, we're not going to make good decisions. It is the combined thinking and feeling that will lead to positive action. So, achievable promises and goals should never be forced. They should be worked on together. Is this person courageous enough to go against influencers, such as powerful people with a lot of money, or lobbyists? Now, lobbyists, I used to think maybe they were not good people at all, that they were not good. And then I had a long chat with my friend Sue Merrow, who is a politician, former politician, whatever. And she told me that she was once a lobbyist. Well, there's two kinds of lobbyists. There's the ones that do it for love and for commitment and what they truly believe. And there's the people who do it for special interests and money. The lobbyist's job is to get politicians to sway in their direction. And they're very busy and they can be very, very convincing. But you have to stand strong under the pressure of people that try to control you, especially when you are governing a large body of people. Okay, is this person that we are thinking about voting for honest? Will they, what did they do in the past will indicate what they will do in the future. I've said it before, and I invite you to adapt my policy. If someone lies to me once, and I absolutely know they're lying, chances are I will not call them out, unless it's something that's really, really important and powerful. But either way, I will never take anything they say as truth without the test of time. I just won't. I have to see it happen. So, used to be a time where they said a man is as good as his word, or a man's word is his bond, or you could make handshake deals, because people really could be relied on. I think even today there are people that can be relied on, and I think there are people who can't. But frankly, if I caught someone lying to me a couple of times, I sure would never vote for them. Oh, they say everybody lies. I don't know why. It makes no sense. It truly does not make any sense at all. But, and there's no such thing as a little white lie. A little white lie is just something that builds into bigger and bigger lies. So, is this person someone I can trust? Okay. Does this person have understanding? Are they knowledgeable? Are they wise? And I will add something that I didn't think about when I wrote this book. Are they teachable? Anytime anyone says to me, I know everything about that, I know they know nothing. They might have some facts, but if you say, oh, I know all about that, well, you know all about it from your perspective, but unless you've got a whole lot of education, a whole lot of experience, chances are you don't know everything. I know in my own life, sometimes I'll think I know everything about something, and then God has a way of showing me how much I have yet to learn. I remember when I was graduated from high school, and the vice principal got up to give his speech, and he said, there are many things I could tell you tonight, but I'm not going to, because you think you already know them. He knew he'd be wasting his time. Is this person that you are going to vote for diplomatic? Is it someone that can handle fairness and the difficult situations and the very, cultures are very different, and we should never expect another culture to see things the way we see them, to think necessarily the way we think. That does not eliminate the basic aspects of good and evil, but they just do things differently. I heard one time, like, a lot of Americans consider a lot of the people in the Middle East as enemies, and that some of them do have a pretty tough culture. Yet, in its purest form, in the way it's intended, their culture is amazing. One of the things that they would do is they would have, if there was a business meeting, let's say you had a business meeting, even big politicians, kings, whatever, national business, international business, they would all get together and they would first have tea, coffee, food, and they would talk. How's everything going in your family? What's happening here? How's your business going? They would have a general conversation, and then they would get down to business. Do you know how powerful that is? Because once we get to know someone better, we want to work with them more. So hold that thought, because it is a very, very powerful thing. And then, okay, so then this is, now we're taking, those are all the basic things that we were talking about. What do you want from the person you are going to vote for? Then it says, watch your habitual thoughts. The thoughts we hold in mind manifest in and as our lives through the law of mind action. Are you holding thoughts of fear or anger against the opponent, or positive thoughts about the candidate or party you prefer? This will not only, I know it's going to be hard to believe this, but this is true. This will not only affect how you vote, it will affect the outcome of the election. How will it affect the outcome of the election? Not only individually, but collectively. The thoughts we continuously hold will manifest in the outer realm. So, think about that. I decided that unless you just watch my page or watch for a message from me on Monday, I am not certain that I'm going to do a video that night, because there's two things I'm thinking of doing. I may do it's called a novena for the election. And the novena is based on the number 9, which is a high spiritual number of completion. And it involves doing a prayer every hour for 9 hours, or you would do it every day for 9 days. I'm going to be doing prayer every hour for 9 hours, because I'm setting the stage for the election that will follow. I know we're all tense. I invite you to try to stay positive and grounded no matter what comes up. We don't need any October surprises or November surprises. We need to hold the truth that God is in charge. I've also got a little election playlist that runs around in my head. And I tried to get the songs so I could post them, but I can't. They're in our Unity book called Wings of Song. But you know what? I think I still have a couple of minutes. I am going to sing for you. That's because I know this group is small. But these are the songs that I'm going to be thinking about from now until Monday. And I may make a playlist of what I can do. Here's the first one. Okay, it's called I'm Ready for a Miracle. I'm ready for a miracle, I'm ready for a miracle, I'm ready for a miracle today. I do receive a miracle, I do receive a miracle, I do receive a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is open, open all the way. I do receive a miracle, I do receive a miracle, I do receive a miracle today. That's what we want. We want the miracle. We want the pressure taken off. I think I'm done singing my miracle song, but there's a lot of them. From Flower Drum Song, 100 million miracles are happening every day. So, let's not get into our fear. Let's not get into our anger. And no matter what the outcome Tuesday or whenever we find out, we have to know God is in charge. We are here for a reason. We are here to serve and to stand for all that is good and to create a world that works for all. So, have a great weekend. I'm going to do my best. Last weekend of the camping season for 2020. I am both happy and sad. I got a lot to do, but I sure will miss this wonderful season. And let's know that good is coming our way. God bless you, my dear friends, and together know that we do make a difference. Bye-bye.